welcome to another video, and this video is the first in a series of videos on solving linear equations. And we're going to start off with the most basic, which are the one-step equations. But just bear in mind that the process that I'm going to use to solve these equations, which is the balancing method, is exactly the same regardless of the difficulty. So even when we do get on to the much more complicated equations, I'm going to use exactly the same process. So it's really important to understand that balancing method and not just solve these without any workings out, even if you might be able to do that. So I'm going to go through these 4 examples and then I'm going to give you a bunch of questions to give yourself some practice. So the first one, x plus 6 is equal to 9. We want to get x on its own. That's the ultimate aim, is to work out the value of x. Now at the moment you can see we're adding 6 to x. We want to get rid of that, so we always do the opposite operation. So instead of adding 6, we need to subtract 6. Now, I can't just take away 6 from this side and not do anything to this side. Because we need to keep the equation balanced, whatever I do to the left-hand side, I need to do exactly the same to the right-hand side. So if I'm subtracting 6 from the left, I need to subtract 6 from the right as well. So what are we left with? Well, on the left-hand side, we're just left with x because these 6's cancel. That's the whole reason why I'm subtracting 6, is to get rid of them. And then on the right-hand side, I've just got 9 minus 6, which is equal to 3. So that is my answer. X is equal to 3. And I can check my answer. If I put 3 back into my original equation, I'm going to have 3 plus 6, which is indeed 9. Okay, let's look at the second one. We've got x minus 7 is equal to 4. And again, I want to get x on its own. At the moment, we're subtracting 7, so I need to do the opposite. And the opposite of minus 7 is plus 7. So if I add 7, that will get rid of the 7's. But I can't just add 7 to the left willy-nilly. I need to add 7 to the right. So I need to add 7 to the right, and that is to keep the equation balanced. So now what I'm left with, on the left, I've got x. And on the right, I've got 4 plus 7, which is 11. So my answer is x is equal to 11. Okay, question 3. I've got 5x is equal to 40. And what this means, when we've got a number and a letter next to each other, that just means multiply. So 5 multiplied by x is equal to 40. I want to get x on its own. So at the moment, we're multiplying by 5. The opposite of multiplying by 5 is divide by 5. So to get rid of the 5, I need to divide by 5. And obviously, I need to divide the right-hand side by 5. So what we're left with, you can see the 5's just cancel out with each other. So I'm just left with x on the left. And on the right, I've got 40 divided by 5, which is 8. So my answer is 8. And you can see that 5 times 8 is indeed 40. Okay, the last one, we've got x divided by 3 is equal to 11. So to get x on its own, I need to do the opposite of dividing by 3, which is multiplying by 3. So if I multiply the left-hand side by 3, I need to multiply the right-hand side by 3. So on the left, again, the 3's cancel out, so we're just left with x. And on the right-hand side, 11 times 3 is 33. So that is my final answer. So now I've gone through some examples of how to use the balancing method to solve these one-step equations. I'd like to give you a bunch of questions to have a go at. Okay, it's over to you now. So I've got 12 equations that I'd like you to have a go at solving. And just in the top corner here, I've put some tips just in case you get stuck. Okay, I'm assuming you paused the video and had a go at this. So let's go through the answers together now. So question 1, we've got w plus 5 is equal to 7. And we want to work out what w is. So to get w on its own, we need to do the opposite of adding 5. So we need to subtract 5 from the left, and we need to subtract 5 from the right. So what we're left with, on the left-hand side, we're just left with w, because the 5's cancel. And on the right, we've got 7 minus 5, which is 2. So that is our answer, w equals 2. Okay, question 2. We want to get a on its own. At the moment, we're subtracting 1. So to get rid of that minus 1, we need to add 1. So let's add 1 to both sides. And we've got a on the left. And on the right, we've got 6 plus 1, which is equal to 7. So that is our answer, a equals 7. Question 3. we've got x plus 4 equals 13. We want to get rid of this plus 4. So if we subtract 4 from the left, we need to subtract 4 from the right. So we're left with x is equal to 13 minus 4, which is 9. Okay, question number 4. 2x is equal to 18, and we want to get x on its own. At the moment, this means multiply by 2. So we want to do the opposite. So we want to divide by 2. So if I divide both sides by 2, I get x is equal to 18 divided by 2, which is 9. X equals 9. Okay, question number 5. X divided by 4 is equal to 7. So the opposite of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. So I'm just going to put up here times 4 for the left, and obviously times 4 from the right. We always have to do the same to both sides. So we're left with x on the left. 7 times 4, that gives us 28. So our answer is x is equal to 28. Question 6. X plus 10 is equal to 40. So to get x on its own, we need to subtract 10 from both sides. So we're left with x on the left, and on the right, 40 minus 10 is equal to 30. So x equals 30. Question number 7. X minus 9 is equal to 7. So to get rid of this minus 9, we need to add 9. So if we add 9 to both sides, we're left with x on the left, and then 7 plus 9 is equal to 16. So x equals 16. Okay, hopefully you're having fun, just like I am. Question number 8. W minus 15 is equal to 30. We want to get rid of this minus 15, so we need to add 15. So let's add 15 to both sides. And we're left with W on the left. And on the right, 35 plus 15 is equal to 50. So W equals 50 is our answer. Okay, moving on to the last set of questions. Question 9. 11y equals 55. So this is 11 times y. So instead of multiplying by 11, we can divide by 11. That will cancel those 11s out. So obviously we need to do the same to the left, to the right, sorry. So we're left with y is equal to 55 divided by 11. Well, that's nice and easy. That is 5. Hopefully you know your 11 times tables. Okay, question 10. B plus 6 is equal to 4. At the moment we're adding 6, so let's minus 6 from both sides. So on the left hand side we get B, and on the right hand side we have 4 minus 6, which is negative 2. So our first negative answer here. But don't be freaked out by that. Just follow the same process, and if your answer is negative, then so be it. That is the answer. Okay, question 11. We've got 4y equals 10. So at the moment we're multiplying by 4. So let's divide the left by 4 and divide the right by 4. So on the left we've got y, and on the right we've got 10 over 4. Now 10 over 4, we can simplify that. We can divide the top and bottom by 2. That is exactly the same as 5 over 2. Now you could leave it as 5 over 2, or if you wanted to write it as a decimal, 5 divided by 2, well that is 2.5. Okay, so if we divide 5 into 2 sections, each one will be 2.5. So let me just box that. That is our answer, 2.5. If you did leave it as 5 over 2, that's absolutely fine. You could have written 2.5. However you say it, as long as you get the correct number or the correct value, that's absolutely fine. Okay, the last question. A minus 7 is equal to negative 3. So we want to get rid of negative 7. So we need to add 7 to both sides. So on the left we've got A, and on the right we've got negative 3 plus 7. Well, that's the same as 7 minus 3, which is 4. So that is our final answer. A equals 4. So how did you get on with those 12 questions? Did you get 12 out of 12? Hopefully you did. But just remember these 2 important points whenever you're solving equations. So hopefully this video was useful for you in solving equations. And in the next video, we're going to move this on a step further, and we're going to start looking at solving 2-step equations. So hopefully you'll join me for that video, and thanks again for watching. Take care.